First, he applies a layer of synthetic skin over the mechanical brain. Then, he gives it a few gentle rubs to smooth it all out. A human face slowly manifests right before our eyes. Next, he gets to work on styling the hair. He fits in the eyeballs and a fresh set of teeth. Then, he carefully locks the head onto that robotic neck. Perfect. The ultimate upgrade is now officially complete. The android stands there, dazed, staring into the mirror, and stares at his brand new reflection in disbelief. Back then, Andrew wasn't exactly a heartbreaker. He was just a machine wrapped in cold, steel plates. To afford this dramatic makeover, he had to pinch every penny for countless years. 35 years ago, Andrew had just graduated and the paycheck was pretty slim. Immediately after rolling off the assembly line, he was bought by a wealthy family as their butler. Actually, butler was just a fancy word for cleaning. The job itself wasn't too exhausting, honestly. However, the eldest daughter was quite a brat. She often ordered Andrew to jump off the balcony, claiming she wanted to see if he could actually die. Andrew was still brand new back then, completely oblivious to how the world works. So, he followed her orders like a good boy. The result of that leap nearly turned him into a pile of scrap metal. Just look at how absolutely pathetic he was. I apologize, sir, for the disturbance. Next time, I will. Luckily, his technology was quite cutting edge. He could auto-repair to some extent. These minor wounds healed up very quickly. But that fall actually sparked a new way of thinking. From that day forward, Andrew felt as if he finally had thoughts of his own. For instance, one day, he accidentally broke little Amanda's favorite toy. Seeing her so heartbroken, Andrew immediately rushed back home to carve her a brand new wooden figurine. The carving was unbelievably exquisite. Naturally, the little girl was obsessed with her new toy. The master, Richard, was over the moon when he found out. You've got some skilled hands, don't you? How about making a few more? Richard just walked to the door. When he heard sounds from Andrew's room, he curiously peeked in and saw Andrew was repairing an old phonograph. That antique was nearly 80 years old, yet he managed to bring it back to life. This robot is truly remarkable, isn't he? Richard decided to nurture Andrew's talent. From now on, no more housework for you. Just focus on your craftsmanship. Meanwhile, he taught Andrew valuable life lessons, teaching him about human emotions, social etiquette, and even humor. Andrew was a brilliant student, understanding everything instantly, and often cracking Richard up. Besides absorbing knowledge, he spent his days in the workshop, meticulously carving and fixing clocks. Amanda spent all her free time playing with him. Andrew found Amanda absolutely adorable. Every day, he'd sit and play the piano with her. And just like that, 15 years flew by. Andrew, thanks to his masterful skills, had earned a small fortune. Richard, as his master, decided to let him keep his savings. By now, Amanda had grown up. It was time to start a family. One day, she ran to. Suddenly he remembered the artificial organs. One day, she ran to. One day, she ran to Andrew and said her boyfriend had proposed. But she hadn't given him an answer yet. Because in her heart, she loved someone else. I've fallen for a dear friend. What do you think I should do? Andrew thought it was quite simple. Well, why don't you just marry that friend? Oh, I've actually thought about that. But reality doesn't allow it. There is no possibility for us. But why? Because he isn't. Never mind, you wouldn't understand. After a long silence, Amanda decided to marry her boyfriend, and told Andrew to come celebrate her wedding. Not knowing why, hearing those words, Andrew suddenly felt a wave of sadness, to the point of losing all focus on his craft. A profound sense of loss. In his confusion, Andrew accidentally severed one of his fingers. The wound was too severe for self-repair, so he asked Richard to take him to the institute. Besides getting his finger fixed, Andrew wanted an upgrade for his appearance. He felt his face was far too rigid, and wanted it to have more expression. That's simple enough, they said, but it'll cost you a pretty penny. Richard agreed, thinking it was a worthy investment. At Amanda's wedding, Andrew wore a suit with a smile on his face. But deep down, he felt a bitter ache. They eloped together, but deep down, he felt a bitter ache. They eloped together, a profound human sorrow. They eloped together, a profound human sorrow, living their best days. Naturally, living their best days. Living their best days. He wasn't the only one feeling sad. Living their best days. He wasn't the only one feeling sad. The master was hurting as well. After all, his little girl was leaving the nest. Seeing Richard so downcast, Andrew went over to comfort him. Don't you still have me? Sir, don't worry, I'll be a part of this family forever. I will never leave your side. But Andrew's confidence was a bit premature. He'd soon have to eat his words. To buy his freedom, the robot offered up his entire 15-year life savings to his master. But Richard still wouldn't accept it. Andrew, however, had made up his mind. Nothing could stand in his way. After Amanda got married, the house had become a lonely place. Richard saw Andrew's restlessness, so he bought him countless books to read. Over time, the robot became more refined. Andrew began yearning for a life of his own. Richard truly hated to let him go. He had come to view Andrew as a son. But since the bird wanted to fly, he wouldn't hold him back anymore. "I don't need this money. If you want to go, then go." Andrew silently tucked away the check and left the only home he'd ever known. That separation lasted for 16 years. When they finally reunited, Richard's health had faded significantly. He gripped Andrew's hand for one final farewell. "Finally, my son, your journey is just beginning. Pursue your heart with all your soul." Currently researching robot personality tech. Pursue your heart with all your soul. Currently researching robot personality tech. And leave no room for regret. Currently researching robot personality tech. And leave no room for regret. Simply put, and leave no room for regret. Simply put. Then, Richard drifting into the great beyond. Inventing, then, Richard drifting into the great beyond. A chip to grant robots a personality. Then, Richard drifting into the great beyond. A chip to grant robots a personality. This was the first time a chip to grant robots a personality. This was the first time. Giving him individual character. This was the first time. Andrew had come face to face with death, giving him individual character. Andrew had come face to face with death. Like this female robot's unique skills. Realizing the true pain of existence. Like this female robot's unique skills. Like this female robot's unique skills. Despite being an immortal machine, he experienced every bit of human emotion, true human feelings. So Andrew traveled the world, searching for another robot like himself, one with feelings and a soul, to share his eternity with. Just as Richard said, leave no regrets. However, Andrew scoured the globe, but no one like him could be found. Just as hope was fading, he suddenly spotted a female robot on the street. Andrew was so stunned his jaw hit the floor. Judging by her expressive eyes, maybe she was the right one. Andrew followed her to a factory. Then he approached her to talk. "I can't believe my eyes. I've finally found you." But her response was purely mechanical, not what he had expected at all. In that awkward silence, a man stepped out from the back, claiming to be the owner of the place. Kim, a scientist. Andrew was disappointed and almost left. But then he saw realistic robotic limbs, identical to human anatomy, masterpieces of biology. Andrew asked the scientist in panic, "You're not some kind of pervert, are you?" The scientist explained. "These were handcrafted, meticulously made like humans. With these, a robot would look much better. Problem is, I've got no investors, so I'm only halfway done." Hearing this, Andrew decided to invest in him. "Test the results on me first. I think this has great potential. Let's give it a shot." The scientist agreed eagerly, implanting skin and hair. Then the upgraded Andrew was born. With this new look, returning home wouldn't be a problem. It's finally time. This is perfect. Now, the first person Andrew wanted to see was Amanda. But when he arrived, he found that Amanda had become a frail old woman, currently lying in a hospital bed. Doctors said she had a few days left. Andrew went to her side and held her hand to say one last goodbye. He noticed she still held the horse, the one he'd carved as a child. He finally understood that her secret love was him. But it was too late now. Amanda passed away peacefully. Her granddaughter, Portia, burst into tears by her side. Andrew envied her so much. "You can cry, while I am trapped in this shell. This is truly a cruel irony. My heart is in pain, yet I have no way to show it." From that scientist, "Why not give it a try?" The two of them began to collaborate. One daring to dream, one daring to do. Success was swift. Now, Andrew could shed tears. With a nervous system and organs, truly human at last, he could finally express his soul. The long-awaited dream was finally his reality. This lady waits for the end. She's 83, and he is 200. Actually, if Andrew agreed, he could live to 500. No problem at all, but he did not want that. He wanted to experience mortality. As Portia changed his perspective on life itself. After Amanda's passing, Portia was his only link to family. Lonely without company, he sought her friendship. Their bond grew into love. But being a machine, and not a man, love faced impossible odds. Until one day, he spent a fortune on his transformation, now complete in his eyes. Even if the world disagreed, she didn't care. Andrew rushed to Portia to confess. But she was one step ahead. "Charlie and I are getting married." Andrew was crushed, hiding his pain behind a hollow blessing. But Portia snapped. "Andrew, you are insufferable. If you want something, Then fight for it now. Stop being so polite. Take a chance, Andrew. Dare to make a beautiful mess. Perfection isn't everything. Daring to be wrong is important. She challenged him to be brave. If he spoke his truth, she would choose him instantly. She liked to talk in riddles. Unfortunately, Andrew was a robot, not good at catching hints. At the engagement, he watched. Jealous of her fiancé. The scientist laughed. You're jealous, why not just steal the bride? With expert advice, Andrew finally understood Portia's true feelings. He abandoned caution and told her, I love you, Portia. I've loved you from the start. She smiled, finally hearing what she needed. But Portia was normal. She grew old, while he stayed same. Immortal and frozen in time. Eventually, fear of losing her grew. But, having found love, he couldn't lose her to death alone. He chose mortality for one final upgrade, a human lifespan. At any cost. To live and die as a real man. Successful at last. He grew old with her, cherishing every moment. Grateful to end his journey by her side. The story ends here. Bicentennial Man. By Chris Columbus, director of Harry Potter. A unique sci-fi tale. Beyond special effects. About a robot soul, with no superpowers. Only a human heart. Andrew's feelings defined his existence. Immortality was a burden. The message is clear. It's about the beauty of life. From butler to man. A journey through society. Learning what matters most. Finding right from wrong. Beyond following orders. To feeling the world. Understanding love, and the pain of loss. Achieving enlightenment. Knowing the goal. Watching loved ones pass. Facing death. Finding peace. Passing like a cloud. Returning to roots. Love is eternal. A must-watch film. Enjoy the experience. Farewell for now. Like and subscribe.